Protect your mind. Your inputs become your thoughts. Protect your mind. Because not everything deserves access to it. Not every video deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your belief. Not every argument deserves your energy. And not every piece of information deserves a place in your thoughts. Think about this. Your mind is the place where your future is being created. So what are you allowing inside? Every day you're consuming something. You scroll through social media. You watch videos. You listen to conversations. You read comments. You hear people's opinions. You watch other people's lives. And sometimes you don't even realize it, but you're feeding your mind things that slowly change the way you see yourself. You wake up feeling fine. Then you spend an hour watching people who seem richer, happier, more successful, more beautiful, and suddenly your own life doesn't feel good enough anymore. That's not always reality. Sometimes it's the result of what you've been consuming. Your inputs become your thoughts. What you repeatedly watch influences what you think about. What you repeatedly think about influences what you believe, and what you believe eventually influences how you live. That's why you have to be intentional. If you constantly consume negativity, don't be surprised when your mind becomes negative. If you constantly consume drama, don't be surprised when peace feels boring. If you constantly consume fear, don't be surprised when you become afraid to take risks. If you constantly consume comparison, don't be surprised when you stop appreciating your own life. Your mind is always listening, even when you think you're just scrolling. Not everything deserves your attention. We live in a world where attention has become a currency. People compete for it. Algorithms compete for it. News competes for it. Social media competes for it. Everyone wants a piece of your mind. So you have to become selective. Ask yourself, is this making me wiser or just more anxious? Is this inspiring me or making me compare? Is this helping me grow or stealing my peace? Would I willingly put this thought into my mind if I had a choice? Because you do have a choice. You can unfollow, you can mute, you can close the app, you can leave the conversation, you can stop watching, you can choose silence. And sometimes, protecting your peace means becoming unavailable to things that disturb it. Be careful what you normalize. Here's something people don't talk about enough. What you consume repeatedly can start to feel normal. If you constantly watch people disrespect each other, disrespect can start looking normal. If you constantly consume negativity, negativity can start feeling like reality. If you constantly hear people saying, nothing ever works, people can't be trusted, love doesn't exist, everyone is selfish, eventually you may start believing those things too. Not because they're necessarily true, but because you've heard them enough times. Repetition is powerful, so be careful what you allow to become familiar to your mind. Your mind needs a filter. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to watch everything. You don't have to have an opinion about everything. Sometimes wisdom is knowing what to ignore. Protect your attention. Protect your peace. Protect your curiosity. Protect the version of yourself you're trying to become. Because every hour you spend consuming something is an hour your mind spends somewhere, and your mind cannot be everywhere. Feed your mind better things. Read something that challenges you. Listen to something that teaches you. Watch something that inspires you. Spend time with people who encourage growth. Learn something you've never understood before. Have conversations that make you think, and sometimes turn everything off. Sit quietly. Go outside. Walk. Think. Let your mind breathe, because your brain doesn't need constant stimulation. Sometimes it needs space. The deepest truth. You don't become who you want to be only through the things you do. You also become who you are through the things you repeatedly allow into your mind. Your thoughts become beliefs. Your beliefs influence your decisions. Your decisions create your habits, and your habits eventually create your life. So if you want to change your life, don't only change what you're doing, change what you're feeding your mind. Tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, what have I been feeding my mind? Not just today, but for the past few months. What have you been watching? What have you been listening to? What have you been reading? Who have you been giving your attention to? And most importantly, what has all of it been turning you into? Because your mind is precious. Don't let the world fill it with things you never chose. Be intentional. Be selective. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Protect your dreams. Because what enters your mind today may become the life you live tomorrow. So remember, protect your mind. Your inputs shape your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. Choose what you consume wisely. Your future self is listening.